I told you I'd be back. Here I am, post-retirement video. And by the way, thank you so much for your comments. I had no idea so many people around the world were impacted by some of the work that we've done. Thank you for that. It actually brought tears to my eyes to read your comments, so thank you very much. Now to address some of the questions that came up, yes, I will be at the Show of Shows. In fact, this coming weekend, I'm going to be at the Lakeland Show, selling some books and saying hi to people. I enjoy that part of the business. And then I will be at the Show of Shows in February. And on February 23rd, I will be at our SOS party. It's at the Hilton. You can go right here and you can see, actually on the website under accessories, you'll find tickets. You can also get extra raffle tickets and then tickets for the Show of Shows, the party at the Hilton. So check that out. So my first video post-retirement, I thought I'd do another virtual gun show. I'm going to start off with some high-end holsters. I'm going to pop up some prices on those because I think it is educational for you to get a ballpark. They will sell pretty quickly, and I know that's frustrating for some people because by the time they look them up, they're already gone. But you at least get price ranges for really nice World War II era holsters. So I'm going to show you some of those, pop up prices because that's allowed. But then when I get to the guns, I'll review some guns, but I'm not going to pop up the prices because that sometimes gets us in trouble with the YouTube rule keepers. So let's check out some of the guns that I got in this week, and we're going to walk through it just like you're at a gun show. First, the Luger holsters. These are extremely popular, and I just never find them anymore. Actually, for the Black Widow, I have a waiting list of people who want Black Widow holsters. This one would be 41, so it goes with a BYF 41 Luger, P08. You can see the stitching is all good. And if you want to remember, this one has a little tag on it. And this is in unissued condition, almost unissued, just because this doesn't look like it was hardly bent. So I'm going to leave it alone, although somebody, probably the GI, faintly wrote their name in there. But you can see the condition of the leather, not much scuffing. And all three of the Luger holsters are going to be $500 a piece. I think that's a price that will cause them to fly. Here's the next one. So we have the black 41. Then we have a black 42, P08. Good stitching all around. Same price, a little scuffing here. And the inside, it has been used a little, but no writing here. You can see some scuffing here, same price, $500. That's two Luger holsters. And here's the third one. This is a police style 42 with a police eagle. Again, good stitching, beautiful leather. How am I doing for a retired guy? Other than my memory, everything seems to be working just fine. We do have a serial number here. Again, it was police, so that was added by the police likely, not factory. Beautiful inside. There's the Luger tool holder. And everything else is just in beautiful condition. Now, I've got some smaller caliber. This would probably go to a PPK. I think it's ACA marked, yep. Definitely to a PPK, check that out. I'm gonna do 400 on these. These are, I consider these mint. You got the ACA DRGM. This is unusual because it has no side pouch or front pouch. So it's actually a rare style of holster. I said 400 and I'll stick with it. So this is a coffee brown. So coffee brown PPK with no pouch is the best way to describe it. This next one, absolutely gorgeous. A really shiny laminate, almost, it's not a laminate, but it has a shiny finish like it was laminated, but the leather has some kind of coating on it, just really beautiful. I've seen it before, and it is not marked other than this Waffen stamp. Now, I have seen the Waffen 100, and that's a legit stamp. This one looks like a Waffen 83, and I don't know if that's even possible. You can look that up. I could be wrong. I'm going to do 400 for this as well. If this turns out to be a correct Waffen stamp, it would be very rare and worth double that. But $400, and we'll just call this the laminate finish PP or PPK. Okay, this is PPK, also ACA. And this one, the other ones were coffee color. This one I'll call tan. So this is tan with an aluminum stud. And I'll do 300 on this one. It's got that orange stitching, which I like a lot. But this, nothing really special. There's no marking here. So this one's 300. And then this one, I'm going to go with 400 on this one, and I'd love to hear your comments if you're a holster person. I think this is totally legit. 1939 RZM marked. It would hold a PPK. You could put it with an RZM. Later than, well, the RZMs were 35, but they did more in 39. They also did the party leaders. But I think this is totally legit. I'll do $400 on that. If I could prove that that was a totally legit RZM marking, it would be closer to 1,000, but there you have it. Now we've got black. So we got the tan, we got the RZM. Now we have a black. This has the maker initials and then 1944. It's black, and I'm going to do 350 on this one. Now, two left. They're both Polish Radums, obviously. These are getting harder to find in nice condition. The black one is mint, and the brown one is probably very good, or very good to excellent. So let's do the mint one first. I would say 400 on this. You can see the marking is very strong. You can see the date, which I believe is 1944, and the Waffen stamp right here. So this is mint condition, $400. And this one will be $300 because it's only very good. You can see BNZ, I believe that's 44. There's a Waffen stamp there. And you see the condition of the brown leather. So as I said, these holsters are getting harder to find. Okay, these are the guns that came out of that same collection with the holsters and worthy of your eyeballs, because you're going to want to check these out. I picked out some of the best items. We'll start at the top, and we see a very nice gray grip Waffen stamp. So that would be late war. If you look at the serial number, it's about 1943. And gray grip on this side. No crack in the back. Gray grip here, excellent condition. Magazine is correct. PPK with the caliber, 7.65, and there you see the Waffen stamps. This next one is a stellar minty gun, I believe from about 1939. Yep, about 1939, and you'll notice this is the W suffix. It's a rare variation. There is a solid block of W suffix guns right here in 1939. Nobody knows the meaning of W. Some people say, well, that meant Waffen or Wehrmacht, and I don't believe it does. Well, I don't think it possibly could because there's no inspector. There's no military inspector proof. It is Crown End proofed. This is probably a 98, 99% gun. So here's the side with the W suffix. There's the front. And then on this side, notice the fire blue here. Absolutely gorgeous. Front strap. This is, I don't know why I'm selling this. I must be retired or something because I should keep this one. There's a banner-only magazine. Beautiful gun. Hard to find. Rare variation. They only made a few hundred, and a lot fewer survived the war. The next PPK is one everybody out there is looking for. Other than the wear here, you'll notice how the fire blue stands out. And this one, the fire blue, it wears off a lot easier. But this is an early 1935. There's a serial number. From 1935, this is the RZM, which means it was procured by the Nazi Party for party members. I've said it many times before, but they offered to their membership a Walther PPK at a reduced price. This would be one of them. These, I seriously have a waiting list for these. I can't keep up with it. Everybody wants the RZM, and they always want it in beautiful condition. It does come with an early magazine, banner only. It actually has the thin lip here. Comes with an early magazine and an early grip, which is correct. No cracking here, no crack here, no crack here. This is, I don't know, 96, 97%, with the exclusion of the fire blue being missing there. Just a beautiful example of a gun from 1935 that went to the Nazi Party before the war even began. Okay, this is worthy of discussion because this is very, very early, has some early features. The first feature is the serial number is upside down. You'll notice the serial number is right side up when you do it like that. But on the earliest Walther PPs made in 1929, so that was the first year of production, they stamped the serial upside down, and then by the following year, they turned it around. So this early variation, first we notice here, also the proof marks on all of the guns on the table there. The crown N is here and here in the ejection port and on the slide, but on the earliest guns, it's on the frame here and here. And then it's also found on the end of the barrel. I don't know if you can see it. I can barely see it with my retiring eyes. So that's the early features. I'm going to go through them one at a time. It's well worth it. First of all, it has an enclosed firing pin. That you can only see by taking the slide off and looking inside. It has an enclosed firing pin. It has a heavy hammer. Notice the size of the circle. This is a standard hammer on the PP and the PPK. Only on the early PPs, you'll see the heavy hammer. You'll notice the difference. Also, it's a fat safety. Notice the safety here, standard. This one is a fat safety. If you needed this part and you were just people read to me and said, do you have an extra fat safety for a project I'm doing? I think you'd pay probably $500 to get a fat safety, but this has the fat safety. Also notice 90 degree. This is a 6-degree safety cutout. This is 90 degree, that's an early feature. Also, the magazine is the slab side, which means there's no indentation. The indentation looks like this, that's standard, and no follower. Notice that's the open follower. I said no follower, but it does have a follower. See, that's enclosed. This is open. That's a very early variation, only made in the first year. They rejected it because it didn't work out too well, and you push it down, it doesn't hit right. So they do it here, which guides it down, and it works more effectively. But this is all original configuration. I mentioned the firing pin is enclosed. One other early feature, I'm not going to take the time to take the grips off, but notice how that doesn't quite go to the top. That tells me that these are the early X grips. I've done this in video before. On the inside, there's an X reinforcement, and then after that, they weighted the grip. But the earliest variation, and again, $400 for just the grip, earliest variation have the X grip, and I can tell that's an X grip because they never quite fit right, but they're not cracked at all. So this is a very rare gun and very unique. Now we go from the first to the last. This was on our website before, and we sold it on consignment because I couldn't agree on a price. The person who wanted to sell it wanted a lot of money for it. I don't remember how much, but I said, I'll never get that, but I'll try. We put it on the website and it sold right away. Well, we just got it back. The serial number says it was right at the end of production. In fact, there's no marks at all on the slide. Now, if I take it apart, it is mismatched. So it could be a GI mismatch, like we see from the Walther factory. At the end, there were people who came in, put together guns from parts. This seems like a gun that was put together from parts because, as I mentioned, the slide does not match the frame. The frame is one of the last ones made, and it has no finish. This is finished, but they just took a rear sight and slid it in there. But then this is finished. This is for the takedown. And we might as well just pull this off, and you can say this was never finished. So this is in the white, other than a few parts. Here's the inside. You can see it's all tarnished in there, and this does not match the serial number. So all that is to say, it's an end-of-war GI mismatch gun put together. The grips, I believe, are original. They are IA marked inside on both sides. So this gun is really for that collector who likes end-of-war unique guns. Next we have a lightweight, so this is Dural aluminum frame. Near the end of the war, the last serial numbers were 430, this is 429. You can see it's matching, it has the black grip in excellent condition. This aluminum frame can't be blued, it won't take to the aluminum, but it is anodized, kind of like a spray paint on there, but it's anodized metal. And you do see the slide very thin. This is about a 98% gun, has the proper late war magazine. Everything about this is correct. Again, end of war, Eagle N proofed, 7.65. Hard to find, excellent condition. And just love this gun for my personal collection. But again, we're going to pass this on to somebody else's collection. This next one is a little bit earlier, 390 instead of 429, but it does have the black grip. There's no cracks, no crack back here. This side of the gun, you can see it's matching, it's proofed. The frame is not aluminum, it's steel, and it has a pinkish hue. Much like George Costanza liked in his Girlfriends, he said he liked a pinkish hue. This has a pinkish hue and a Police Eagle C. I'm showing you the difference between the black anodized frame and the pinkish hue. There is a little bit of schmutzy right here. That's just a little bit of corrosion in the metal. And again, a correct magazine, late war magazine, and a nice addition to your PPK collection. I thought I had no more Walthers, but in fact, I have this one. Now this is a Waffen-proof black holster. Open it up, and that was modified maybe for the war, like they reused a holster. I doubt that that was done after the war. I'm thinking that they were using up parts because it's late war and they modified it to fit, but this is a Waffen-proof holster, and there is a Waffen-proof gun. So again, you can see the Waffen-proofs here. The last one we had, remember, this was the gray grip. This is the black grip. The black grip should be a little bit later, and indeed it is a little bit later. This is 365, and this is 379. So this is a little bit later. The gray grip came a little bit earlier and only for a short period of time. But just like this one, you can see the Waffen stamps here, which is Waffen 359. That's the inspector in the Walther factory. This is the same thing. And then you also have the Eagle N, which is firing proofs. And again, it comes with the correct grip, just like the last two. It is the PPK and the caliber. So with the correct Waffen stamped holster, by the way, it was made in 44, and the holster is stamped 44. I have 3 rigs. I'm going to skip over them and do these guns. I don't know these very well at all, but this is just a remarkable gun, so I had to show that to you. I know we have some Colt collectors out there. This is a double action police positive, and it's 32 caliber. It says here, double action, 32 caliber. What's interesting about this piece is just the condition. Look at the fire blue here, fire blue on top. It's just an incredible gun. You can see fire blue on the trigger, and even the screws, see a little bit of fire blue here. So it's just the condition that matters with this one, and thought it was worth showing you. The action on it is excellent. Cute little gun. Action is nice and tight. You can see here the Colt logo. I'm not sure of the year. I'll go look that up. But I believe it was the 1920s or 1930s. Speaking of Colts, here's one I know a lot more about because I do collect military weapons. This is just before the beginning of World War II. Of course, in World War II, most of the guns are Parkerized. This is the blued 1911 A1. So this was right before the war started, I believe around 1941. RS, Robert Sears. That's the inspector. So we see RS, you see the correct grips, a little bit of corrosion on the front strap, and two-tone magazine, which is an earlier magazine. Actually, it's worth more money, but you could easily swap that out for a World War II magazine if you wanted. But that's a really nice magazine. That's what came with the gun. It's early enough that it could have a World War I magazine in it. 45 caliber, nice bore. There's the serial number, a little bit of corrosion here. But these are getting really hard to find, and they sell for a premium because of the bluing. They're getting really hard to find and favored among collectors. Next, I have a mint. In fact, I'll say mint, mint, mint. Look at that, 1944, absolutely no wear. This is 99% gun. In original condition, it's a 4UT, which means it was made during the German occupation, but not for much longer, because in 1944, the Germans retreated as the Americans moved north, came through Rome and took over the factory. There's the serial number. It is all matching. And this doesn't have the curly Q at the bottom, but it is a correct flat bottom Beretta magazine. And this comes in 32 caliber. But again, look at the top. There's not even a slide mark from racking the slide back. So this is mint. This is like brand new, like the day it came out of the factory. Okay, now we have a Walther Model 4. It is made in Germany marked right here. So it was made probably for the American market. These are Bakelite grips, has a proper magazine. It's not Walther marked on the bottom, but it looks like a proper Walther Model 4. This is just special because of the condition. Again, nowhere, anywhere. Nowhere at all. Okay, I'm going to wrap this video up with 3 rigs. The first one is a police. Just look at this holster. 1942 police holster. This is mint. I would love to just keep this holster. Honestly, when I see holsters like this at shows, they're easily $1,000, if not $1,200. I feel guilty charging that much. So we'll just keep it together and not tell you what it cost. There's a police. You can see the tool. It has an Eagle L. I believe the gun is also has to be an Eagle L because of the year, but let's pull out the gun and the spare magazine and talk about those. But as I do that, let's look inside. You can see stone mint police holster. Love this. Now, here's the gun itself. You can see the proof mark here. You can see the sear safety, a little bit of wear right here. Overall, this is about a 97, 98% gun. Almost no wear at all. It is a Mauser banner. I almost said Walther banner. It is a Mauser banner, 1942, same date as the holster, same condition as the holster. Just feast your eyes on that. That is incredible. Here's the other side with the Eagle L. Notice the bluing, almost no, this is just stunning. Again, I must be crazy for selling this. I should put it in the safe, but it turns out you can't take it with you. So we'll leave it behind for someone else to enjoy. Now this magazine, the magazines were often numbered in the police arsenal. It is one matching magazine, but it's 3178. That magazine looks correct. It's also a little bit raised when I run my finger on it. As far as I know, that was probably done in the police arsenal because it doesn't look factory. This one, however, the second mag does look factory. This has a number 2, this has a number 1. This looks factory. I just don't know. It's close, but it's not matching. The font on the 7s, it might be fine, but this for some reason is black and this is not. I'm just not 100% sure. This is most likely one matching mag done in the arsenal. This is a close to matching, definitely a police magazine. You'll notice this is convex and this is concave. That's the police style. So this is truly a police magazine. Looks like it was numbered at the factory. It's close. This one, I'm just not 100% sure. Okay, this is going to be a Navy rig, which a lot of you will perk up your ears. You see, this one was up in the attic and somebody chewed on it. I made that up. It's got some scuffing here, but it does have the Navy marking, and it is 1939. The gun itself, I believe, is 38. We're going to find out in about 10 seconds. But you can see it's a proper Navy holster with the Navy marking. And 39, a little chewed up. Again, not sure what happened here. Open it up. There is no tool, but let's get to the good stuff, which is the gun itself. This is a Navy Luger from 1938. Kind of give you a good look at that. S42, which is the Mauser factory. You can see the bluing on this is just gorgeous. Again, we're talking about a 97%, 98% gun. If we look at a little bit of wear here, which you'd want to see, it has the military proof, so it was approved for the military. Look at the shine on that, just gorgeous. It was approved for the military. I believe that's Stick Wing 63. I'm pretty sure that's correct. And the magazine is a Navy mag and property mark, but not matching to the gun. So it's a Navy mag and property marked, and then O, which is for OTC, or the East Sea. This is a Navy Luger in a Navy holster with a non-matching magazine, and just a beautiful find for a Navy. A lot of times the Navy have pitted pitting on them because they went out to sea and salt air. It's hard to keep them from getting pitted. But this would be a nice addition to your collection. Here's my final frontier. Not from Star Trek, but from this collection. Just love it. Look at that orange holster. Now, who would wear that unless you really wanted to stand out? But this is a paper holster, very rare paper holster, and you wouldn't want it for the military because it would stand out. You could probably glow in the dark, so you can't hide from your enemy. But in fact, this is a very rare paper holster, P-38, late in the war, so I think around 1944, and it is a commercial gun. So you can see the crinkled paper here, they glued it. It's still very pliable. Often these get stiff and you need a hairdryer to move them around a little bit. This is leather, and this is the spare magazine, which I believe is a correct, yeah, there's no Waffen stamp. So that is a correct commercial magazine with a commercial holster. And here's the gun itself. This will just, well, you're going to want to smack your mama. Now, somebody got offended when I said, going to make you want to smack your mama. And they said that was discriminatory against females. So I'll just change that to, this is going to make you want to smack your papa. There's the pinkish hue. It's plum finish, a bit of a plum frame here. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a mod P-38, which is a little bit rarer than the HP 38. See the serial number again, I think it's about 1944. Front strap, there's absolutely no wear on this at all. Here's the second magazine. Notice how nice the grips are. They still have a lot of shine to them. No Waffen stamp here, so it's a correct. They're identical magazines in identical mint condition. Just overall, a beautiful mint gun. Again, 9mm. They weren't making very many commercial guns in 1943, 1944 for obvious reasons. Everything went for the war effort. So the only person who could have ordered this would be a high-ranking Nazi official, and he wanted a 9mm instead of the typical 7.65 he would get in a PP or PPK. So I'm sure he ordered this from the factory, and this was made up special. Only a few hundred made. You notice how that plum or pinkish hue through here, and there's a firing proof right there, Eagle N. And there's also some proofs inside. But this is a phenomenal rig, orange color and all. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you saw something that was interesting. A lot of these won't make it to the site because they're so nice and they tend to sell right away. I know that can be frustrating, but you got to look at them. You just, you go to 20 gun shows, you won't see guns like this. So I'm glad you're able to jump on board, watch the video, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned because I have more coming your way real soon.